So if you've already put some video on your video 1 track and you want to put some titles in, you want to click on the text menu along the top next to My Media, where you can see titles. There's motion titles, meaning they come in and they go out. They may have some colors to them that make them stand out even more. You can use these. There are static titles, which are, pretty much they stay put. There are some in-season text titles as well. You probably won't use them in a lot of your projects, but they are helpful at times, as well as call-outs. So if I want to use any of these, like if I wanted to have a title about Paris here, maybe I wanted to use this. The rule is I got to bring it down to the timeline first. And in this case, because this is a title, I'm going to be putting this on top of the Eiffel Tower. So I want this to sort of superimpose itself. So that's how you use the 2 video tracks. Think of this as layering. So if I want to change this to say what I want it to say instead of main text, I can double click it and then I can type in what I want it to say. I can change the font, the colors, all sorts of things. I can also change the size. So the France, I might want to change a little bit. So I'm going to click on manual here because it was on auto. And I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Maybe, it takes a little bit of time for you to see the reflected change. Okay, and then I'm going to save changes. So now when I take my playhead over to the left, you can see that how it looks on there, and that looks pretty good. Callouts, I think, are useful if you ever want to point to something or circle something on a video. You just drag it down, and if I wanted to, say, point to a part of there, maybe I'm going to make it smaller too. I double click it, and then I move the arrow where I want it to be. I'm going to actually change the color as well so that it stands out. And I can see how it's actually previewing. Okay, so those are titles. Audio, I'm going to just talk very briefly because I mentioned this in another one. You have free music, sound effects, or you also have premium music that you can choose from. And you can preview it and drag it down into the audio track. You probably want to turn the volume down a little bit on it so that it isn't overpowering, say, your voiceover. Transitions are nice to put between clips where you could have blur, crossover, mosaic, cross dissolve. Crossfade is probably the most common. You would drag that in between clips. It almost is like it's joining the 2 together. And I can see the effect there. I can always, I can click on it to change the duration or even the type of transition, or even get rid of it altogether. Backgrounds, it's pretty self-explanatory. These might be backgrounds that you want to have in the background and have text over them, solids, some overlay images, as well as some frames. And that's pretty much it in using the rest of these tools.